In this video, I'll show you how to use the tool panel in Photoshop. We've already taken a quick look at it, but we'll just go a little more in detail here. So on the left-hand side, we have the tools panel or the tools bar with all the different tools that we can use. And if you go ahead and you select or hover over any of these, you're going to see a cool little video play out of how that tool works, along with its name, its shortcut key, and what it does. You can also click on the Learn How button, and it'll take you to Photoshop's website and give you more detailed information on how that tool works. Now, I highly recommend that as you begin using some of these tools, you memorize the shortcut keys. Shortcuts are a great way to speed up your workflow, and when you begin working in Photoshop, the more shortcuts that you know, the quicker it is for you to get around and do the things that you really want to do. So whenever you start using it, any common tools that you find yourself repeating, like say maybe the brush tool or the lasso tool, go ahead and start learning those shortcut keys immediately so that you can speed up that workflow and make it easier on yourself. Now, whenever we select any of the tools, you're going to see the options bar at the top change here. So as I select these, if you watch that top options bar, you will see that it has different settings for the different tools that we pick. So when I have the brush selected, we have things such as the brush type, the mode, the opacity, the flow, and so forth. When I select a gradient, we have different gradient options. And when we select the type tool, we have different type options. So you'll want to keep an eye on whatever the options are at the top, because as you begin to create whatever tool you're using, these options will reflect whatever happens. So if I went ahead and typed right here, it would be in this Myriad Pro at 12 points, and it would be left justified and black. So I might want to change those before I drop that type tool down, even though it can be changed later on also. Now, most of these tools, if not all of them, have more tools underneath them. So you'll see a little arrow to the bottom right of this tool, and if I click and hold down, you'll see that there's other tools here. So not only is there a horizontal type tool, but there's also a vertical type tool, and a vertical type mask tool, and a horizontal type mask tool. If I click on the gradients, we have the gradient tool, but we also have a paint bucket tool and a 3D material drop tool. If I select the rectangle marquee tool, there's also an elliptical marquee tool and a single row and a single column marquee tool. So keep in mind that all of these tools are going to have more tools underneath them. Now at the bottom is an option to edit the toolbar. So if you hold this down and you click on edit toolbar, you'll actually have the option to move these around, change how the toolbar looks, and save presets and so forth, just like you would do with your panels. Below that is some color swatches. This is a pretty common thing that you'll need, a foreground and background color, and we'll get into why you would need either one of those a little bit later on in the color section. But basically, this is a quick select for me to just click on here and change out the color for whatever I need to do. So if we go back to that type tool, you can see it's turned it to that red that I selected in this color swatch. So that's something that is pretty common, and you can switch the foreground and background color around by clicking on this double arrow right here. Below that is a quick mask mode whenever you're doing any type of masking. And then finally at the bottom is change screen mode. So you can go into a full screen mode and a full screen mode with a menu bar. Right now I'm just using the standard screen mode, but I have it maximized so we can see all of Photoshop in one screen. Don't forget that this toolbar can also be moved around by left clicking and dragging. If you don't like the placement of it, you can move it around the screen also.